So we've achieved a lot, and we're pretty proud. When I put this slide together 2 days ago, it was completed 96 retrofits. We're up to 97. We got another sanitation garage done. We're already saving the city $4 million. So these are some of the earlier projects before we move to the comprehensive projects. They take a little bit longer. So they're the ones that the numbers are really going to start going up. In fact, we just finished this energy audit for a hospital, which is going to save the city $1.4 million a year once those retrofits are in place. It's a big project. It's going to take a while. We have another 216 retrofits that are underway. And when I mean underway, I don't mean like we're thinking about them. They're like fully in the design phase or under construction as we speak. In addition, we have another 74 energy audits that are currently underway, and we actually have our next list of 100 ready to go, but we got to get further on these. As I mentioned, we've benchmarked all the city buildings over 10,000 square feet, not 50,000 like the rest of the city, but 10,000. We're rolling out our operations and maintenance plan to the 7 largest agencies. This is following a pilot we did. The year-long pilot included just the tools, but without spending any money. We didn't spend $1 on this pilot, and we saved the city over $1 million, and we reduced energy 11%. Most of this was scheduling of HVAC systems. A lot of our savings actually came from reducing heating costs from steam. Because when people aren't in the building, you don't actually have to keep the building as warm. That was like a huge, whoa, aha moment for a lot of people. I mentioned how we kicked off our metering and monitoring, and we verified our energy cost savings. And we have a few milestones coming up. We actually are releasing a few RFPs. We want additional ESCOs, really invigorate the city's green industry. We want more ESCOs to do our retrofits because we've been doing a lot through the New York Power Authority, mostly because the city's procurement process is so long that we already had a contract, so to ramp up, we started going with them, but we're at the point where we're ready to expand that. So we actually have 2 that are going to be coming out, one for small buildings and one for large buildings, complying with the Greener Greater Buildings Plan, as well as RFPs for solar providers and a few others. So I want to get to the challenges. I want you to know we are moving forward on the non-building stuff as well, but we're not going to spend too much time on those. We have many challenges. Scale and diversity of our projects. The scale I mentioned, we're 4,000 buildings with different agencies with different goals. Our buildings are so different. We have schools, we have zoos, we have firehouses, police precincts, courthouses, wastewater treatment plants. I mean, we have so many different types of buildings, so it's not a cookie cutter approach. We really have to make sure we're doing the right project for those buildings. And the scale is pretty big. The only entity that I've presented with that has had more buildings has been the GSA, federal GSA, and they dwarf me completely, so I'm complete all of what they're doing. Motivation, obviously, it needs to come from all the way from the boiler room, all the way to the bullpen, the commissioner's office, the mayor's. So we've been spending a lot of time making that happen, but historically, the motivation wasn't there. The fact that I have some money has helped a lot. There's still a lot way to go, so hopefully those tools and those incentives we're putting in place and rolling out will really help. The Greener Greater Building Plan, as I mentioned, it was the first of its kind in the nation, and we're the first ones to comply with it. So while we're excited to be in that position, there's a lot to figure out. The language is very specific on some aspects of retro commissioning, but as we try to implement it, we have to make sure that it's clear to the industry what it means to comply with the law. And we've been working very closely with the Department of Buildings, the mayor's office, and the retro commissioning industry on what it means so we can provide even better guidance when this rolls out citywide. City procurement processes, bane of my existence. They're difficult. Decades and decades and decades ago, there was corruption in the city. So then you built upon that decades and decades of bureaucracy to combat the corruption. And now we're trying to be innovative. And it's difficult, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. I had every single one of my projects on hold for 8 months because of new procurement rules, new checks and balances put in place. So while I'm excited that we're at 97 retrofit projects, I thought I'd be at 100 by last April, so I'm not happy with that. So we have to move that much further. But the good thing is once we're getting through and people are getting used to these projects and the type of contracts we want to do and the type of vendors we use, we think we'll just be able to start soaring soon. But yes, procurement. And of course, funding. While it's great to have a funding stream, I'm only funded 38% of the way. We don't, as city government, pay into the system's benefit charge, so we can't get NYSERDA funding, which is fine, but we just have to, figure out where the rest of our money is coming from. We have gotten a lot of ERA money, which has been great, although they actually were part of why our projects were on hold. They put us on hold for a year. They said, congratulations, don't proceed until we give you the okay, and a year later, okay, you can start moving. So that was part of the problem as well. But we are looking at innovative financing that doesn't break any of the state's local finance laws, which is difficult. We thought we'd be so innovative with financing, and then we met with our law department saying all these great financing things we wanted to do after months of analysis. They're like, yeah, that might not be legal. So some of our challenges, but and I'm pretty confident that now that we're got through a lot of our challenges and are ramping up, we're really going to fly. So I don't know, do we take questions now, Eva, or at the end for everyone? Okay, so I am done. Can I clarify anything for anyone? Okay, thank you.